On everything we do in D.C., and Director Andrew Trueblood of the D.C. Office of Planning is here today to talk about the 2020 U.S. Census. Thanks for being here today. First of all, why is the census so important?
Well, the census is incredibly important for all of us. Most importantly, it helps determine representation at the U.S. Congress, and when D.C. is a state, it will help us. But as importantly, it also helps determine how we get federal resources. So in the District of Columbia, $6 billion a year is determined based on the census. And finally, as the Director of Planning, I'm interested in it because it's how we count and how we measure our citizens, how we measure if we're making our public policy goals, and understanding if we're reaching the goals and the residents that we're trying to reach.
So is there anything different happening this year's census versus previous census? Censi? What do you say? What is it?
Yeah, so this year, for those who are familiar, this year is going to be different. In the past, we get a form in the mail to fill out. And we fill it out and send it back. This year is the first online census. So every household starting in middle of March will be getting an invitation to complete the census. It'll be a letter, a form, and you go online, you put in some numbers, and you fill out the census, which is about 10 to 12 questions. There will also be the option to call up and fill it out by phone or requesting a paper
do you think just in this age of modern technology, I'd say most people are going to want to do it online, or do you think they still like the paper?
I think most people will probably go online. It's just so simple. That's how many of us do everything from paying bills to our own taxes. So I think that's just, hopefully people will go on their phones or on their computers and fill it out. In D.C., we are also going to make our libraries available, the computers available for residents who might not have internet access. And we'll be reaching out through mobile access terminals and others to try and reach those residents who might not have internet access.
So another question that kind of comes up, immigrants, other people are concerned about how census data is used. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so census data is completely confidential for 72 years. It is important to note that after 72 years it all is available, and that's actually used a lot for purposes of family trees and other research like that. But the Census 2020 will be completely confidential. There are no questions about citizenship status, so we encourage every resident, every household to be counted to make sure that they fill out the form for them and everybody in their household.
All right, because there's no concern of any negative implications from filling out the census because there's not a tie-in to that particular
That's
person.
correct. By law, all of that data, all of that private data is kept completely separate, and it cannot be used for other purposes.
So when does the 2020 census begin? Is it already underway, or is it happening soon?
Well, the preparation efforts are underway, making sure everybody's aware, so we're encouraging everybody to be aware of it. You can go to 2020census.gov to learn more. We're encouraging everybody to talk to their friends and family and coworkers to make sure they're aware, but really you can expect to see something from the census in your mail in the middle of March. And you will be receiving mailings and reminders throughout March and April to fill out the forms. Those who do not fill out the forms in March or April, then we'll have the folks knocking on their doors, the enumerators coming May through July.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Do we still have folks that go door to door to double check on to work on that?
We do. We have the enumerators going out. We highly recommend everyone self-report and complete the census, because that's the best way to get the best data and to make sure that we get the high, that everybody counts and we get the high response rate that we're looking for.
No, and people can realize that this response helps the greater of the city, helps with the funding, in turn will help them back out. I mean, this is a cyclical process that will all come full circle.
That's right. It's
got to do your civic duty and report. What do you keep numbers, like what kind of percentage of people do the census that participate every year? I mean, has it been going up, going down? Has it stayed steady?
Yeah, so it is. It's completed every 10 years. So our last decennial census was we had a decennial census, is what it's called.
Ooh,
decennial. So in 2010, our response rate was in, I believe, the upper 70s.
Oh, great.
We're trying to get a lot higher this year. We think it will help us better count all of our population, make sure that we are reaching all of our residents.
All right. Well, that's great. So you said people will get that letter in the mail. You can also go to the website we have up there. You can also go online to check it out, to find out a little bit more information. But you can't actually do the census until you've been invited, correct? You can't just go online and start doing it.
That's right. Yeah, you wait for the mailing that you should be receiving.
All right. Well, I think this is a heads up. You have a little bit of time to prepare yourself do your civic duty, report your census. There's no negative implications. It's going to help the city get more money. It's going to be better for all. Thank you so much for being here this morning and sharing this information and teaching me some of these words.
Decennial.
Decennial.
Yes.
I'm gonna crush it on my Jeopardy next time. We're gonna take a break. More Let's Talk Live coming back after this.